It was supposed to be just another fiery morning on The View, a table full of opinions, a studio buzzing with energy, and a live audience ready for another round of spirited debate. But no one expected the conversation to spiral into one of the most talked about moments in the show's recent history. What began as a clash of ideas quickly turned into a battle of convictions, leaving even longtime viewers stunned. And Senator John Kennedy declaring, "I'm done with this show." The tension started subtly. The Louisiana senator had been invited to discuss political division in America and the state of bipartisan cooperation. He entered the studio calm and collected, with his trademark Southern charm and a promise to keep the conversation civil but honest. Across the table sat Sunny Hostin, intelligent, passionate, and never afraid to push back when she felt truth was on the line. For the first few minutes, the exchange was cordial. Kennedy spoke about unity, compromise, and respect. Hostin countered with her own concerns about accountability and integrity in government. But as the conversation deepened, civility began to erode. The topic turned to personal responsibility among public officials, a subject that has always ignited sparks on The View. Hostin questioned the sincerity of Kennedy's party's commitment to truth, citing recent controversies. Kennedy, visibly tightening his grip on his coffee mug, responded with his own list of grievances, accusing the media of double standards. "I'm all for truth," he said firmly, "but don't pretend one side owns it." The audience gasped. Sunny leaned forward, refusing to back down. "Senator," she said, "you can't call for unity when your actions divide." The exchange was electric and either willing to yield, both standing firm on their principles. For several minutes, the studio pulsed with the kind of raw energy that daytime television rarely captures anymore. Then came the breaking point. As Hostin pressed him on a controversial statement he'd made months earlier, Kennedy paused, looked straight at her, and said slowly, "You know what, Sonny, I've been on this show many times. I've tried to have respectful conversations, but I'm done with the interruptions, I'm done with the assumptions, I'm done with this show." The words hung in the air like thunder. For a moment, the usually lively studio fell silent. The hosts froze. The audience murmured. Even the producers behind the cameras hesitated. Kennedy took off his microphone and set it on the table, his face calm but resolute. "I came here to talk, not to be talked over," he added quietly before standing up. Sunny, visibly taken aback, tried to respond. "Senator, that's not fair," she began. But the moment had already passed. Kennedy nodded politely to the other hosts, offered a brief wave to the audience, and walked off stage. The camera followed him for a second, a lone figure walking away from the bright lights into the shadows behind the curtain. What happened next was a mix of chaos and reflection. The show went to an early commercial break, but social media didn't wait. Within minutes, hashtags like #JohnKennedyWalks Out and #TheViewMeltdown were trending across X, formerly Twitter. Viewers were divided as some applauded Kennedy for standing his ground, others criticized him for walking away instead of engaging in hard conversations. When the show returned, Sunny addressed the incident directly. Her voice trembled slightly, but her message was clear. "We're passionate because we care," she said, "and sometimes passion spills over. But what just happened reminds us how fragile our national conversation has become." The studio audience applauded softly, not for the drama, but for the honesty. Later that evening, Kennedy released a short statement through his office. "I believe in open dialogue, but not in shouting matches. Respect must go both ways. I'll always defend my beliefs, but I won't do it in an environment that thrives on division." His words resonated with many who feel exhausted by the constant noise in modern politics and the endless cycle of talking but not listening. And yet, amid the controversy, there was something strangely hopeful in the aftermath. The next day, Hostin herself reflected on the moment during a follow-up segment. "Maybe," she said, "what happened was a reminder, not just for him, but for all of us. We can't heal a divided country by out-shouting each other. We have to learn to sit at the same table, even when it's uncomfortable." The incident became more than just another viral clip. It became a mirror, reflecting America's frustration, pride, and longing for understanding. Viewers across the country replayed the moment again and again, not because they wanted more drama, but because, deep down, they saw themselves in it. The exhaustion, the pride, the desire to be heard. In the end, the view carried on, as it always does. Guests came and went, debates continued, and the laughter eventually returned. But something about that morning lingered, a reminder that behind every heated exchange is a human being just trying to stand for what they believe in. And maybe that's the real lesson John Kennedy and Sunny Hostin left us with, that being done isn't always about walking away. Sometimes, it's about realizing that respect and listening are the only ways forward. Because in a world full of noise, the bravest thing any of us can do is stop talking and start understanding.